It's common to hear that the poor communities are not doing enough to help themselves get out of poverty. How come the poor don't want to help themselves? The reality is that the top 1% of America has 40% of America's wealth. Some plights that the poor communities, which is most of America, deal with is cost of living, lack of transportation, and an upkeep of their health without the same social and economic opportunities. For some context, an economist asked 5,000 Americans, "How do you think the wealth is distributed in America?" They were nowhere near close to reality. The population was broken into 5 groups: a bottom 20%, a second 20%, a middle class, a rich, and the wealthy. The bottom, second, and middle class were indistinguishable from each other. Say we reduce that population to 100 people. It came out that 85 of the 100% were in or very close to poverty. All of us combined only have about 7% of America's wealth. That CEO or celebrity in our group of 100 is taking home almost half of the money that's supposed to be distributed between all of us. Yet through all of this, the cost of living has continued to rise, and the communities stay and remain in these same paying jobs. The Economic Policy Institute, also called the EPI organization, created a family budget calculator that measured the income in your community needed in order to attain a modest lifestyle. According to the EPI's family budget calculator, a 2-parent, 2-child family living in this San Diego Carlsbad metro area, it would cost them $110,158 annually to live comfortably. Throughout the year, they estimated that a little over $10,000 of that income would be only for their food budget. Some factors that go into families' decisions around food are time constraints, prices, the food available to them, and the convenience that they come with. With children spending most of their time at school, this is beneficial to the average household to have access to these school-provided lunches and breakfast. Many families rely on these provided meals to relieve some financial stress, improve their health, and improve academic performance. California became the first state to implement a statewide universal meal program for school children. This required 2 meals to be provided not just to the needy children, but to all children. On average, students who eat at school at breakfast have shown to achieve 17.5% higher scores on standardized math tests and attend 1.5 more days of school per year. Now that our kids are fed, let's talk about how food is affecting them. Many people associate weight gain with laziness or what their consumption is. You see and hear every day about current fads of dieting and eating clean. I've heard myself that I need to stay away from sugary foods, carbs, or fast food. In an article from Johns Hopkins Medicine, a cardiologist by the name of Chadi Nzumel says, "I don't think sugar is the reason for the obesity epidemic. The average American is eating around 20 teaspoons of sugar per day, when the recommended serving is 6 to 9. Obesity is linked to people of color and poorer communities. It may seem easy, but when you put in all the varying factors of transportation, affordability, and the consumer, it's not all it's cracked up to be. In addition to food, transportation for the average American can be very difficult. According to the American Progress Organization, 10.3 million households lack access to a vehicle, 39 million people are sharing one. This means that most households don't have access to their own vehicles. This is a perfect example of how lack of transportation can affect that normal four-person household. We need to earn $110,000. Do you think your boss cares you need to drop your kid off at 8? They expect you to work at 8. Better yet, say you're one of the 10.3 million households that don't have access to a car. And you don't live to a bus stop? Oh, you don't live close to a bus stop? What do? People now need to Uber, carpool, walk, or bike to their job. And trust, if you don't have a car and you live in the San Diego Carlsbad metropolitan, your life just got more expensive and a lot harder. So the poor don't want to help themselves? Or is it because that CEO is making over 300 times the average worker's pay? He's making his own hours. He's not troubled about when to fit in an exercise. And he doesn't have to worry about how to get to work. Poor communities are at a disadvantage when it comes to income, opportunities, and resources. Addressing the unequal economic opportunities would help fix the concerning problems for America today.